The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah, the Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. Yeah. The Most High is my rock. I keep my Bible on top. The Most High is my rock. No time for cupcake and the cutling. Hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling. The Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. You can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button. And I feel sorry for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth. Are you fishing with the truth? Homie, where's your fruit? If the Most High is your rock, don't treat him like a side piece. Come in this truth plan and treat you like a side piece. He's the God of mercy and wrath. So do you wanna fly or do you keep the Bible on cop? The Most High is my rock.
TK.
Rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Shalom to everybody online. Welcome. Everybody on Facebook, everybody on YouTube. Shalom. We're the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. We're located at 8524 South Bracewood Boulevard, Houston, Texas, 77071. Our class days are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 9. Friday from 6 to 8. And then we do Shabbat class on the Saturdays from 10 to about 2. All right, so if you're local, feel free to come and join us. We also have a school, a newly opened location out in Virginia at 2610 Granby Street, Norfolk, Virginia, 23517. And our school in Albuquerque they've done two things. They've switched days and they've switched their location. The school times and days for Virginia: Tuesday, Thursday, Friday from 7 to 9. Okay? San Antonio does class Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and Saturdays from 7 to 10. On Saturday, do 10 to 2. Their location is 4444 Walsham Road, Suite 201, San Antonio, Texas, 78218. So if you're in San Antonio, if you're in Virginia, over there on the East Coast, if you're in Houston, feel free to pop in for class. All right, we'd love to have you. We're still working on getting the building out in Albuquerque. For the meantime, Mashaba's out there doing the blog talk radio. And he does it every Thursday at about 9:30. Okay. We have our new channel, the Hidden Truth Bible Show. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to that. Like Priest Kazakia said yesterday during class or before class, we're just trying to declutterize the Hidden Truth Bible Show YouTube channel is for our cable shows. Cable shows, news channel, 1 hour of a cable show, 30 minutes of a news channel. Get those quick hitters out there, right? Get those quick hitters, and you don't got to sit through 2-3 hours of class. Okay, so that's already up and going. We got our first video up on that. We're going to be downloading our other cable shows onto it, as well as some new stuff. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Upcoming feasts, we got Purim. That's March 6th and 7th. Okay, and then we got Passover in April on the 12th, April 12th. All right, the location is La Fontana Springs Event Center. It's going to be in San Antonio. It's 27618 Natural Bridge Caverns Road, San Antonio, Texas, 78266. Okay, she'll throw the address in the chat for the brothers and sisters that need that. So make sure you make your reservations for the Passover. Okay? Israel Wear, if you need any garments made, Israel Wear is not going to be taking any more orders for any garments because they're going to be starting on the Passover. As soon as we get the colors, color scheme and the design. We'll get that out to everybody. I know y'all been hitting me up and asking me. As soon as we get the colors, remember, they're making these garments from scratch. All right? They're making every garment that we get is from scratch. So they're drawing it out. They're getting material. So as soon as we get all that together, we'll let everybody know the colors. And if you want a garment, we'll have the prices and whatever you need to pay for to be able to get a garment. But we'll get it. We always do. Don't stress, right? We know that it creeps up on us, but there's no need to stress out. We get it done every year, right? We get it done every year, even though we are under the gun trying to get it done. We get it done. The sisters get it done. We get the location. We get the lamb. We get the garments. We have a good time. Don't stress out. Okay? You gotta say that because they'll stress out. They'll lose their minds trying to make something happen that it's in the control of the Most High at the end of the day. So we'll get it going. We make sure every year we got our garments. Everything's good to go for the Passover. So this year is not going to be any different. If you need to reach a teacher, you can contact, as you know, contact me. My number is 303-557-8979. I'm here in Houston. You can reach Chris Kazakia. He's out there in Virginia. His number is 281-707-2737. You can email us, okay? You can also email us at isbhpk@isbhpk.org. All right? If you need counsel or anything like that, hit us up. Class ideas, like how you brothers and sisters been doing, hitting us up for questions in classes. Keep doing that. There's some good classes that are coming from you guys as questions, okay? So you make sure y'all using us. We got a website. If you'd like to support, sweetambiance.com. Okay, and I'm hoping that she's able to put up all the little different things that I'm saying as I'm saying them, that way you guys can see it. But it's sweetambiance.com. Support black businesses, man. That's what we got to start doing. Supporting is real. We got to start supporting each other. We got to start supporting each other, and it's a good way to help support the school. You can do it like that. If any donations you want to give towards the Passover or for anything else, we have a Wells Fargo account, and we also have the Google Wallet. Are you able to get those things up? Those images? Perfect. Okay, perfect. We got the Wells Fargo. We got the Google Wallet. Again, if you want to give towards the lamb that's a hefty amount of money. It's about $2,000 plus to get enough lamb for 3 different schools, and then all the brothers and sisters that are going to be participating in the Passover this year. So we want to get enough, so that way everybody's fed. Nobody go home hungry, right? We don't want nobody going home hungry talking about they ain't eat at the Passover. We don't want that to happen. So if you'd like to help out that way, you can. Anything you want to send to the schools, any type of books or school supplies, you can do so. You can send to any one of these addresses. Before you send anything out, please contact us. That way we can at least expect your package or get you a different address to know that it's going to get to us, all right?
Yes, sir.
That's it. That's going to be it for the announcements. I mean, we go through the same announcements every 6 days a week, so it's just for any new people that's online. Y'all know what the announcements are about, everybody online.
Yes,
All right, so what we'll do, we started late, obviously, so we're just gonna go right into this class. So if you got questions, just hold on to them. And I'm gonna say this. We do class Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I gotta say this, we do class Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Now, we don't broadcast live on Friday, and I give brothers and sisters the opportunities that are here to ask their questions, but y'all gotta show up. Y'all gotta show up and be here to get y'all's questions answered. All right? We have classes set up that we go through, but y'all gotta be here to ask your questions, on the Shabbat. And you know, I know a lot of y'all still be having questions, man. So we take that Friday. Obviously, we take Saturday Sabbath class to answer questions also.
Yeah.
But I mean, after we sit there for 8 hours in Sabbath class, a lot of brothers and sisters don't want to sit for another, 2-3 hours to get questions answered, so they won't ask. Take the opportunity on Friday. If you're local here, ask your questions. If not, shoot them online to Virginia. You could ask us. All right. So I just want to put that out there, that we do have class on Fridays. I know it's not live or broadcasted, but it's still a good opportunity for brothers and sisters to show up and get questions answered. Okay. All right. So with that, we're gonna go into the topic. Another good topic. You can change the title. Change the title, and we'll let the brother go into his topic. So what are we going to be going into?
So it's a very good topic, man, especially for this time that we're living in right now. So the topic is going to be on stress or stressing, or should you be stressing in the truth, right?
Right. So should there be stress? Should we be stressed out? Should we have that anxiety and that weight?
That burden. Yeah.
And, unfortunately, a lot of brothers and sisters do. A lot of brothers and sisters that have the word, that have the knowledge, they're still stressed out. They're still burdened down by their minds. They're still burdened down by what society tells them they should be worried about. And the knowledge is supposed to afford you the luxury of being free. Right?
That's what it says.
Yeah, you shall know the truth, right?
Like you weren't supposed to learn the truth and then become like even more stressed than you were in the world.
Right.
One of the definitions for stress is to be put to difficulties. So the truth is easy. Scripture says the simplicity in Christ. So it's supposed to be easy.
Right.
So why is it hard? Well, it'll be hard if you're going against the truth, or you're trying to grab the world into the truth. That's what'll make it a little hard.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're not using what the Most High has put around you for the benefit that it's there for, that's when it can become difficult. If you're it's like the Most High gave you a fork, but you're using the fork for the purpose of you're trying to drink soup.
Trying to eat cereal or drink soup with the fork.
Yeah.
Right. And you're like, wait, I'm not getting anything. Well, yeah, the fork wasn't meant to do that. Just like the wisdom and the knowledge wasn't meant to constrain you down and imprison you more into your own mind. Right? Get that real quick. St. John 8:32. Right? Basic scripture that we went offline.
No. So the title is Should We Be Stressed Out?
You can put stress kills.
Stress kills.
John chapter 8 verse 32.
Read.
And ye shall know the
You
truth.
shall what?
Ye shall know the truth.
Go ahead.
And the truth shall make you free.
See, it said the truth was going to make you free, not keep you further in bondage. And a lot of us come in, and like the brother's saying, we come in, the tools are there, but they're not being used the correct way.
Okay.
The correct application, the correct things are not being applied in situations to free your mind from the constraints of how stress ties you down, and stress makes you move a certain way. You start getting fidgety. You start getting anxious, right?
Another thing it does too, because your mind is burdened down by what you're dealing with, you start making rash decisions. You start making moves that you're not used to making. You get so burned down that you don't even think. You don't think clearly. So because you don't think clearly, after you done made the move, you're like, oh man, why'd I do that? And then you wish you could take it back, but by then it's too late. It's too late. So read that again.
John chapter 8 verse 32.
Go ahead.
And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
So especially in these times, the scripture says wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of your times. Especially these times. So the wisdom and the knowledge that we're getting, we should be using it. That's the only way we can maneuver. Because when you look at the people in the world, man, they're toast. They're stressed. They're burdened. Their minds, man, you can see it. They're heavy. And and they don't know how to maneuver about it. But us having the truth and having the wisdom of the Most High, we shouldn't be like that, or we shouldn't be worse than how we were when we found it. So it should be some form of progress. So go to Job chapter 7 and verse 1. We're going to start off with this. So first thing that we got to understand is being in the truth. Yes, absolutely. We're going to have some stressful moments, some stressful times. It's going to be periods where you're put into the fire. But why are you put into the fire? It's Job chapter 7.
Verse 1?
Yes,
Right,
sir.
and
Okay.
let's not get it twisted. This is in all aspects of life.
Yeah.
It's not just the truth. You're gonna feel the pressure. There's gonna be a little pressure applied. There's gonna be a little weight applied to every man. Now, that's meant to try you to see where you're at, because some people do. It says pressure busts pipes, but some men perform well under pressure.
Okay.
Right? But the ones that perform well under pressure, are they losing their minds? Are they going haywire? Now, this bulk of scriptures that we're going to go, this point that there will be stress in moments and times and periods. So we have to get that first and foremost. It's going to happen. All right? So let's see what Job had to say.
Job chapter 7 verse 1. Is there not an appointed time to man upon earth?
Go ahead.
Are not his days also like the days of an hirely?
So, man, as being a man and a woman on this earth, the Most High giving you life, there's a time period where you're going to pass. You got the scripture, the Most High says he numbered your steps. So once you hit those steps, that's it. It's time. So you're going to die, right? Go ahead.
As a servant earnestly desireth the shadow,
Go ahead.
and as a hireling looketh for the reward of his work.
So the way that you would work and expect some form of benefit from what you're doing, or some form of relief from your job, the same way you're looking forward to something that you're working for. Read.
So am I made to possess months of vanity?
So understand that the same way that it's like if I'm cutting the grass, I expect to be finished cutting the grass at some point and the grass to look good and not be overgrown.
Okay.
So with that being said, it's the same way that you should look at, you're going to be made to possess some months of vanity. There's going to be time periods where things are going to get rough. It's like if you're washing the dishes, you expect for the dishes to be clean at some point while you're washing them. So it's the same thing. While you're living this life, you got to expect that there's going to be stressful times. It's not always going to be peaches and roses and we just eating and we barbecuing and it's going to be some rough periods. And the cool thing is that that's what the churches don't teach us. Everything is just prosperity teaching, and Jesus wants you to prosper, and
he does.
And he does.
He
That's
does.
true. But they don't ever tell you that.
The prosperity comes through that trial.
Yeah.
The prosperity comes through that little bit of pressure being applied to each man to see, and I don't want to, Kazaki went over it yesterday about being tried in that fire. But that's what brings you through and shows you what manner of person you are. So it's going to be there. Job is letting us know that it's going to be there. Right? Go ahead, read on.
And wearisome nights are appointed to me.
It says what?
Wearisome nights are appointed to me.
So it's natural.
Okay.
It's a natural thing.
Ooh.
So don't, you got the scripture where it says, think it not strange.
Think it not strange, the fiery
The
trial.
fiery trial. It's not strange. It's natural. Like, every relationship is going to have ups and downs. You see what I'm saying? So it's natural. If you have your relationship with your husband and wife, it's going to be natural, ups and downs. Relationships with your brothers, with your sisters, with your families, ups and downs. It's natural. With your coworkers, it's natural. It's going to happen. So the thing is that how do you maneuver past it? Like, it's going to happen. So when it hits you, you shouldn't be like, oh man, don't be surprised when some form of adversity happens, because it has to happen. Go ahead.
My flesh. Kaslaga. Verse 4.
Go ahead.
When I lie down, I say, when shall I arise?
And a lot of us, unfortunately, we're doing this right here in the truth, man. We'll lay down and we're like, oh man, I gotta wake up tomorrow.
Yeah, you stressed out before you even lay down. You're like, damn, I gotta wait.
You already stressed about the next day.
Yeah, you counting down like, dang, it's already 2 a.m. and I gotta wake up in 4 hours.
Like, oh man, I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Yep.
Man, today's my last off day.
Yep.
My work schedule starts. Oh my gosh.
Tomorrow's my Monday. Right? You're like, oh my gosh.
Or the kids go back to school. The kids go back to school and I gotta wake up earlier so I can drop them, so I can get them ready, drop them at daycare or drop them at the bus.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Ricardo?
Even with that, what you're speaking, whenever you put your alarm and you say you have 4 hours of sleep, the alarm is just gonna say you got 4 hours and 12 minutes before your alarm goes off.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh man, let me go to sleep real quick.
Yeah, you're like, whoa. When you see that 4 hours, you like.
So you already thinking like, oh man, I'm gonna wake up tired.
Yeah. You already setting yourself up for the stresses of the next day.
Yeah.
And you know, it's funny because I used to be like that. I used to, you know, when you have to set your alarms and you look, you're like, dang, 5 hours, man, that ain't gonna be enough. And you try to force yourself to sleep, and you have to force yourself awake. And now I'm more, you know, you gotta be more in the taking advantage of the moments.
Okay.
And not letting the moment take advantage of you. Because you gotta wake up, you gotta sleep, right? Go ahead, read on, watch.
When shall I rise and the night be gone?
Right.
And I am full of tossings to and fro unto the dawning of the day.
God, man.
That's what happens though. That stress have you like laying down, gotta go to sleep. Oh man, just toss this way, can't fall asleep. Can't.
Nah,
next thing you know, dun, 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 dun.
You know what I deal with? What I deal with is, what I be dealing with is, I can't sleep, long day, and I finally am about to go to sleep, and then she wakes up. And then the baby wakes up, and it's like, oh man, so you're really not gonna go back to sleep, huh? Then I gotta be up with her, I gotta go back to work. But I like what you said though, because that's actually beautiful. It's taking. It's what did you say? You said
take advantage of the moment.
Yeah, take advantage of the moment.
Take advantage of you.
God.
And just knowing like when I'm tired, I'm asleep, and then I'm gonna have to wake up at some point anyway.
Because the Most High is gonna give you. The Most High is gonna make it to where He knows you're tired. Mm-hmm. If He knows you need sleep, He's gonna make it to where you can get some sleep. He's not gonna be like, nah, bro, you never finna sleep. Mm-hmm. That's just not gonna happen. Like Most High is not gonna do that to you.
But that's how I be feeling sometimes because we get caught up in the grind of thinking about when is going to be my next sleep, when is going to be my next rest. But I like what Job said. Let me jump right back. He said, "Is there not an appointed time to man upon the earth?" Now you go back to Ecclesiastes 8. It says there's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
But nowhere in there does it say there's a time to stress. You know why? Because once you understand that everything has its appointed time and season, then you'll say, wait, there's no need. There's no need for me to stress out.
God.
There are stressful situations that we're going to be a part of, and we have to be, right? Let's go to the next one.
Go to Romans chapter 8 and verse 35.
And again, these are just to show that
God.
If you thought that when you walked into the doors that all of a sudden there was not going to be no type of stress, there was going to be no type of pressure, that all of you were just going to be free from the situations. You know, the situations is different than you being stressed. Y'all get that, right?
God.
Being stressed out and being a part of or being put in a stressful situation, they're two different things. Because I could be amongst a stressful situation and I could maneuver through that with a type of organization of the mind.
Yeah.
Right? But that comes through the Spirit. So read that Romans.
Romans chapter 8, verse 35. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ?
Go ahead.
Shall tribulation?
Read.
Or distress?
Or what?
Or distress?
See, it's asking the question, what's going to separate you from the Most High? Is it tribulation and distress? Stressful situations, stressful moments, stressful interaction? Is that going to separate you from what Christ wants you to do? Because, and the reason why he's asking the question is he's letting you know basically that these things are there to try you, to try each and every one of us. Go ahead.
Or persecution?
Read.
Or famine?
Right.
Or nakedness?
Right.
Or peril?
Right.
Or sword?
And all these things bring on stress, man.
It does.
Imagine not being able to feed your family. Imagine having the sword pulled on you Right? Imagine being in peril, like Paul. He said, I was in perils with brothers, with sisters, with false brethren. But did he let that stress him? Did he let that take him to the point where his mind broke? No.
You know what's called about the scripture? You get it in the truth, but you get it in the world as well.
Right.
You go through tribulation, distress, persecution, famine, nakedness, peril, and sword before you found the truth. You all went through this.
Right. Yeah.
So in the truth, you just, you're given the wisdom and you're given the knowledge. So you understand now. You can see the punch before it comes. But the punch is still gonna come. It's just that now you can see the punches that's being thrown at you.
If you're watching. Yep.
Yeah, if you're watching.
God.
So now you understand, okay, I'm actually in a fight. Brothers and sisters in the world don't know they're in a fight. So now you understand, okay, I'm in a fight. So what do? You understand, okay, I gotta dodge the tribulation, I gotta dodge the stress. I can't, or if I gotta block it, I'm not gonna take it head on like how they take it head on. And they start putting a gun to their head, or they start wanting to rob because they don't have no food or no clothes. They start pulling the sword on each other. Now, we understand, man, we're in the truth. The Most High is gonna provide and protect us. So if we're going through a tribulation or a distress or a persecution, a spiritual man, the first thing he would say is this: what's going on? What is the Most High trying to show me? Am I messing up? Am I bringing this on myself? Or is it happening because I'm doing something right and the Most High is just testing me? What is you're considering? You see what I'm saying? So what's up, Ricardo? You was gonna say something?
Before, with what you're saying, before we knew we were in a fight, or even before we read the scriptures, what we would do is give ourselves to worldly substances so that we could clear ourselves from any nonsense.
Oh, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Watch. From there, go to let's get some of these scriptures out. Go to 2 Corinthians 6 and 4.
2 Corinthians 6 and 4.
No. 2 Corinthians 4 and verse 8. Get that one first.
Okay. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 8.
Go ahead.
We are troubled on every side.
Right.
Yet not distressed.
You see that? There's trouble on all sides, but we're not distressed. We're not sitting there like, oh my God, can't go this way. Oh my God, can't go that way. If we walk down the street, the white man's gonna kill us.
It's like Christ when he was on the ship, and the waves was restless. Mm-hmm. His disciples were tripping out, but he was just down there sleeping.
Yeah, oh ye of little faith. Because, and we'll get into that also. Right now, we're just showing that there's gonna be stressful instances. You think that tempest on the ship when it was Yahushua and the apostles, you think they weren't stressed out? Hell yeah, they were stressed out. And Yahushua had to be the voice of calm, the voice of wisdom. He had to be the example of the calm in the storm, because that's what it is. There has to be a calm in the storm. There can be stress all around you. There can be stressful situations all around you, panic and chaos, but who's going to be the voice of reason?
And that has to be us knowing the knowledge and being in the truth.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't have that out in the world. One thing that I'm very thankful for, learning the truth is when my grandpa died, one of the counsels that I was given was you're the one with the wisdom, so you're the one that gotta be pretty much the voice of wisdom, the calm one, the one that they go to.
Okay.
And it was real. I was able to do that. I was able to actually be that person where they can come and they can just, I'm not panicking, I'm not tripping out. I'm like, nah, he's in a better place. You gotta see what the Most High is doing. And that's what we have to be. So when our brothers and sisters going through the tribulation and the distress and the persecution, everything they gotta go through, and there's trouble on every side, you're the one that has to be the one. You're the one that has to be Yahushua in a ship that's asleep. Or they come into you and you like, what's up? And they're like, you don't know what's going on? They flipping out.
And it's like, no, I know what's going on. But look, watch. It's not as despairing as you think. Watch. Slow down. Just slow your thinking. Wait, let's lean on wisdom. Wait a minute, let's just talk about it. Wait a minute. before we react. Let's get the whole matter. A lot of people stress out and let these stressful situations, the distress, the peril that's around them, take hold because they don't sit back and examine first. Israel is so quick to rebuke, but not examine. And when that rebuke, it comes so chaotic, right? When you hear something, you like, see, hold on, let's hear the conclusion of the matter. Let's think before we speak, right? They always say, shoot first, ask questions last. We got to be better at asking more questions and getting the understanding of things, especially the things that are around us, man. Because it's the things around you when they start to pile, and you got to handle this situation, you got to handle this situation, this situation, and you got just situations around you that if you take every situation and just have it by itself, it's not stressful. But when you put everything in one box, and you in the middle, and everything's like this, it starts to become like, damn, what am I going to do? This right here is attacking me. I got to handle this. I got to handle this behind me. I got to handle this situation. I got to take care of this. But if we don't learn how to do what? Compartmentalize, right? You got to have a back burner on your mind. And you got to know what belongs at the forefront and what belongs at the back burner. And what to handle first and what to handle second. And really, it's not what to handle, but who's going to handle. Yeah. How to put things in its proper place. How to use the things around you. And that's what you got to learn how to delegate. That limits stressful situations. Right? Go ahead, read on.
We are perplexed.
We are what?
We are perplexed.
Go ahead.
But not in despair.
See, we're perplexed, but we're not in despair. Because disparity, that's another stress. That's another, you're triggered into, oh my God, what am I going to do? What are we going to do, right? You get into this despair mode, and then that brings on the, oh my God, what am I going to do? Instead of springing into action, right? Go ahead, read on.
Persecuted,
right?
But not forsaken,
right?
Cast down, but not destroyed.
Go to 2 Corinthians 6 and verse 4.
2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 4.
Right?
But in all things, approving ourselves as the ministers of the Most High.
Right?
In much patience.
In much what?
Patience.
Read on.
In afflictions.
Come on.
In necessities.
Right?
In distresses.
And this is the point. In distress, this is how you prove yourself. This is how you prove yourself whether you are the ministers of the Most High or not. Or if we are of the Most High or not. This is how we prove what manner of man, what manner of woman you are.
You got to ask yourself, how did Abraham prove himself to the Most High? To where the Most High was like, you're my friend. How did David prove himself to the Most High where he's like, you're a man after my own heart?
You think it's not a stressful situation when a man you nursed to health, when a man you sat up with is trying to kill you, and he got you on the run 7 years, and you running, and you got to run to the enemy to seek out hiding from them. That's stressful, man. When David had to run from Saul, you think David wasn't under? No, he wasn't stressed out. Was he under pressure? Yeah, he was under pressure, but he didn't let that take hold.
Yeah, man.
He didn't let the stress get him to the point where he was just making rash moves. And then he ended up killing David. Well, he's trying to kill me, so I gotta kill him first. And that's when you get into that mind that I gotta act and react to things without understanding consequences.
And another thing too is the brothers and sisters that'll be around you during those moments. You gotta see what they're telling you too, and see how you can use it. Because during that time, Saul's chasing David. David catches him in the cave. The people that David got around him, they're like, kill him. David's like, nah, I'm not gonna touch the Most High's anointed. But think about it. He's in a not a stressful, but a stressful situation where he can make any move. Most High gave him Saul right there, and then you got your brothers and sisters, you got your people around you pretty much telling you to kill him. He could have did it. But it showed how David thought, how he used his mind. He wasn't just reacting because of what he was going through. And that's the same thing with us.
And this is how he was approved.
Yep.
This is what approved David to be called a man after the Most High's heart. This would have proved Abraham when he had to pick up and uproot his family. 300 trained servants and all these other people from one land to the other. He could have stressed out like, oh my God, what am I going to do? 300 men plus all these other people, and I got to bring all these tents and camel and this and that. How am I going to do it? And then just lose his mind.
Yep.
This is what approved Abraham to be called what? A friend of the Most High. This would approve Moses when everybody wanted to kill him. When they murmured against Moses. I mean, he could have lost his mind. Yahweh, they trying to kill me. I don't know what to do. I give up. I'm done, man. These niggas, man, I don't know. Right? But what did he do? He went to the Most High. He said, listen, this is the issue. What do I do next? Right?
Yep.
Because, watch, go to Ecclesiastes.
Okay.
Did you finish that one? Yeah, you did. Go to Ecclesiastes 38 and 20.
30 and 20?
38 and 20.
Ecclesiastes chapter 38, verse 20.
Right?
Take no heaviness to heart.
Take no what?
Heaviness to heart.
Because that's what stress does, man. It weighs you down. And when you take it to heart, it weighs down your thoughts, it weighs down your mind, it weighs down your body. So as we move into the next point, they're showing that stress ain't gonna change nothing. Stress don't change anything for the positive.
Yeah, man.
Right? It says, take no heaviness to heart. Go ahead.
Drive it away.
Do what?
Drive it away.
It says, drive it away. Go ahead.
And remember the last end.
Right. And as we go in, we're gonna show how do you drive the stress away. Where do you gotta? What mind state do you have to tap into and stay in?
Yeah.
Because it's a mind state.
God.
It's a everyday waking up and knowing that, you know what, no matter what's going on around me, I don't control it. I can't affect it, but I can't do anything against the truth before the truth. We can't change anything. Watch, go to Luke 12:22. The stress, the overthinking, letting your thoughts run away with your thoughts, that doesn't change anything for the better.
Luke chapter 12, verse 22. And he said unto his disciples, therefore I say unto you,
right?
Take no thought for your life.
Do what?
Take no thought for your life.
Now was Yahweh Shai sitting here saying, man, just be a kamikaze, be evil Knievel, jump off bridges, ride motorcycles across helicopter blades? No, do 1,000-foot jumps on dirt bikes. Take no thought for your life. Be ignorant.
Jumping out of a plane.
Yeah, jumping out of planes. Was he saying that? No, of course not. But this is what he was saying. Read.
What ye shall eat.
Right.
Neither for the body what ye shall put on.
Go ahead.
The life is more than meat, and the body is more than raiment.
Right. So what he was trying to do was establish a mind state that it was more than the carnal that we were supposed to rely on. It was more than just food and clothing. You stressing about what you gonna eat, what you gonna drink, but bro, those things are gonna be there. They're already prepared for you. He said, in my Father's house there is many mansions. So why the hell am I gonna worry about food and drink and what to put on when I got mansions set up for you, right?
It's crazy when you think about Gentiles,
right?
People in the world. That's what they stress about.
Right.
They go crazy because they can't get because they can't get the certain type of shoe that they want. They go crazy because they can't eat what they want to eat. If you already got food in your house, but you tripping out because you can't eat what you want to eat. Like that's how the Gentiles move.
Because they ran out of Popeye's chicken sandwiches. Now you niggas want to kill yourselves. You stressing out over $1 chicken sandwich, and then really getting into a fight over that. You stressing out over what was the other one that they was killing over?
You having road rage?
You having road rage.
Did somebody cut you off?
Man, I hate driving. Every time I get in my car is something. Every time I get in my car, I see some foolishness of people trying to kill themselves to get somewhere. And me, I'm laid back. I'm like, man, 5 minutes under the speed limit. I'm rolling. I'm chilling, taking my time, making sure I don't kill myself and others, trying to stress out on trying to be somewhere on time. All you got to do is just wake up early. All you got to do is just wake up early and get dressed and leave with enough time. But we kill ourselves because we you want to sleep in, you do the sleep in thing. I got to sleep in, I give myself 15 minutes to shower, get ready, eat. And then you got to smash all the way to work. And you know damn well you live an hour away from work. And it's traffic. Well, you got to smash all the way there at 90 miles an hour in a road stressful rage.
Wow.
Y'all see it? As soon as the light turned green, I feel like I'm in New York. In New York, as soon as it looked like it's about to turn green, if you don't get up off that brake, they on you. I'm like, dude, slow down, calm down.
On top of just the 4 hours of sleep that your alarm told you had.
Right? Going back to, 'cause that's where it starts, right?
God.
That's where it starts is my alarm clock. And and I'm gonna let you finish, but we gotta stop being slaves to that alarm clock. We gotta stop being slaves to that alarm clock, man, because that is the killer.
Just get up.
What it is we gotta start doing more to get a little bit more rest. We kill ourselves stressing out, trying to be on social media, trying to watch this movie, that movie. We stress ourselves out with the wrong things, and then when it's time to sleep, all that blue light in your face, got your eyes like this at 4 a.m. You just, damn, I can't sleep. Mind racing, because now you're thinking about every single thing that you've seen on TV or social media. You stress out about your life. You can't sleep. You wake up. You're tired. Imagine you add tired to stress. Bro, that's a powder keg of just emotion and anger.
Plus the stuff you got to deal with.
Plus the everyday hustle and bustle that your garbage boss is gonna come with, whack coworkers gonna come with,
Yep.
right? Because that's what we deal with.
Plus the things that you put in your body, your food. So if you're not eating properly or you're eating late at night because you've been up watching movies all night and you're putting that garbage in your system,
Yeah,
you gotta deal with that.
That's true too.
and that's where some of that tossing and turning come from, because you stressed out. You got to get the comfort food in you. You go hit the In-N-Out burger. You get 2 double doubles, maybe even 3, depending on what type of brother you are. You might hit 3 double doubles or a Whataburger double meat with a patty melt. Right? I know some cats. You hit that, and then what happens? You toss and turn. You sweat in the bed. You can't sleep. You wake up mad as hell, stuffy, congested. All these things add to the level of stress that you subject yourself to. But again, it all goes hand in hand. What you eat, what you give your mind at night. Like, I like to fall asleep off of studying. That way, if I'm going to be dreaming about something, I'm going to at least dream about something in the scriptures. Right? Because these dreams you get, you're like, whoa, you start stressing out trying to decipher your dreams. Man, what did this dream? Well, I dreamt about fish. So is somebody going to get married or is somebody going to die? Right? You start to your brain is just like everywhere. But it's true. You go through your whole day like, damn, what did that dream mean? And then you don't know how to interpret, so what do you got to start doing? Now I got to go to the tarot. Now I got to go to the astrology. You start pulling away from the Most High. You start losing focus. Yeah. So all these things go hand in hand, and we just got to get better at. It's a few things. It's time management. It's our mind management. If you got to set a damn alarm on your phone to get you up off the phone, do it. Do it. Do the little parental thing where it's like, I know Apple does it where you can have like a certain amount of time on the phone. We all need that. Some grown-ups need that.
Yeah.
I'd be happy when my phone dies. I'm like, cool.
Done.
At night, I used to be bad at this. I used to just sit there on the phone and going through things. Now I'm like, man, bro, I'm gonna put that down. I'm gonna make sure I'm here. God. Because I'll be on the phone on the Bible. But that light keeps you up. And I started learning, that's part of my problem. Yeah. I'm gonna start reading here so that light ain't affecting me. And I get, less distraction. Right? But let's jump back. So read on. Finish it up.
Verse 24. Consider the ravens.
Consider the what?
The ravens.
Right. One of the most just nonchalant, non-productive. It's a raven. Like, he said, consider them. That's like consider any animal. Go ahead.
For they neither sow nor reap.
Right. A raven don't sow no seed or reap nothing. They're scavengers. Read.
Which neither have storehouse nor barn.
Right. Go ahead.
And the Most High feedeth them.
He does what?
The Most High feedeth them.
That's why he's putting us in the mind. Don't trip. If they eat, you think you're not going to eat? You serving a purpose. You're serving a purpose.
God.
To to teach and wake people. We all should be serving that purpose. You serving a purpose as a wife, as a husband, as a child. So if the ravens are eating and you got a greater purpose, you think I ain't gonna take care of you?
You know, not to use this as a bad analogy, but I swung through my old neighborhood the other day, and I saw the same homeless guy that's been there since I was little. And I was like, man, you still on the same corner asking for change. So I was just think about it. If he's still there, the Most High is still feeding him and clothing him, even though he's homeless. So how much more are you?
Right.
Right. He's been there over 10 years.
We put in that work, you know what I'm saying? Like for us.
Right. Go ahead, read on.
How much more are ye better than the fowls?
You see that? It's a foul. And they just swoop down and grab whatever they want. Right?
That's it.
Well, even no matter how much of famine and peril is going on, they like, nigga, we about to eat.
Yeah.
But we sitting there worried like, damn, what am I gonna eat? Like, instead of focusing on the things that matter, like, what am I gonna read today? What am I gonna study today? How am I gonna affect someone's life positive today? A lot of us don't think like that. Like, how am I gonna be an impact? We thinking too much about ourselves. What am I gonna eat? What am I gonna drink? How about what you gonna help the next person eat and drink? How you gonna get the next person fed? See, it's showing you a few things about this scripture about Yahweh Shai was trying to pull that selfish spirit. Because stress is selfish. It's you being selfish in your thoughts. It's you thinking about you. That's what stress is a lot of times. You're worried about how are you gonna accomplish. So what's one of the ways to relieve stress? I know I'm jumping, but it's to worry about the next man.
Yeah.
It's to say, wait a minute, you're dealing with something, let me alleviate you. Because if you do that, if we all stand in a circle, and I scratch your back, and he scratch his back, and everybody scratch everybody's back is getting scratched.
Yep.
Right? If I'm saying, brother, what's your burden? Cast your burden on me. Because the scriptures say that. It says, bear ye one another's burdens. So if I'm bearing his burden, I ain't got time to hold mine. I done dump mine off on the next man. And not in a way like, here nigga, just deal with my stuff. I don't want to deal with it. Because it does come back 2 verses later and says, bear your own burden. It says, bear your own burden, right? So it's a thing where I got to be able to grab onto this man and what he's dealing with and not be caught up in my own mind of what I'm dealing with. But then what I'm dealing with, here you go. Same thing. Here you go, here you go, here you go. And it just goes around. And the burden becomes light. That's why he said my burden is light.
You know, that's why in Proverbs it said to consider the ant.
Right.
It said consider the ant, thou sluggard. Now, if you watch a documentary about an ant, they'll tell you that the ant don't care. One ant don't care about itself. They don't care about each other. They don't care about themselves, I should say, but they only care about each other. So that's why you'll see an ant dies, and you'll see them. They'll come and get that ant, and they'll take them. They'll bring them back into the hole. They don't just leave them out there to rot.
Listen,
they take them and bring them back.
I've seen ants cross rivers. You know how? They just cling onto each other and hold on, and they make a float.
Yep.
They make a float, and they'll float across a puddle to get to the other side. As soon as one grabs a piece of land, they all made it. They all made it because I'm not gonna stress myself out trying to make it myself. I'm gonna just cling on to you. And if we all cling on, hey, we one suffer, we all suffer. One make it, we all make it. Right. That's what they ride by. That's why he said consider the ant, because there's so many things that the ant does in unity, that the ant does in selflessness.
Ants represent unity.
Yeah. They can't, listen, how can you lift something 100 times your body weight and it's just you? Well, they do it because they all can do it. They all team up. The ant, if you just watch, I used to sit back and just watch ants. I would just kill things just to watch my ants and watch them go. In Jamaica, that's what I used to do. I used to play with lizards, and the lizard would, all you see just ants coming. He'll carry off a whole lizard, no matter how big this lizard was.
Yep.
And they would move all the dirt and bring him right under the ground and feast. And you're like, how the hell are these little things? Well, because for one, they're not caring about self. It's about one another. It's about selflessness. It's about, I'm not going to stress out trying to make one thing happen for myself. Let's all be grouped together and accomplish it together. Let me finish this and I'm going to get to you. Read on.
Verse 25.
Right?
And which of you, with taking thought, can add to his stature
Now,
1 cubit?
Now this is crazy because he's saying, which of you by overthinking things, by stressing out, can make yourself taller? It's your body, ain't it? Yeah. You should be able to have the power over your own members to say, grow. I want to grow now.
I want to shrink.
I want to shrink. I want to get gray hair. I want a full head of hair.
Yeah.
Right? But how many of us by overthinking can make the hairs on our head grow? Or turn the hairs on our head? Well, you can definitely turn them white by stressing out, right? But can you turn them back black again? Can you reverse a day by overthinking? Can you go back into the past? Can you change or disrupt the future? No. But this is what he's trying to show us here, that, and I do have to say this. Yes, we counsel. It says in a multitude of counselors, there's safety. Yeah. So yes, we counsel. Where there's no vision, the people perish. We have visions. Who go to war and count not the cost. We do all those things. But you don't let counting the cost take you off the mission. You don't let, well, I got a vision, but now I'm so stressed out I can't accomplish my vision. I'm so frantic in the mind that when I start to try to accomplish and execute, I can't do it because I'm sweating, right? I start getting cold feet. I start getting reluctant. I start drawing back. That's what stress does. So we got to see that, yeah, you do plan. You do plan things out. You do have a goal. You do have things that you strive for. You know, you have goals and pedestals that you want to step towards. You're supposed to have those. But stress prevents you from even attaining. Okay. So he's saying, which one of you can add a cubit to your stature just by giving thought? Now, it's just not, I want to be taller. I want to be a millionaire. No, it's like, really, think about it. I want to be taller. It don't work like that. He's showing you that if you can't even control your own body and make yourself grow, what can you really affect? You can't change your temperature. It's cold outside, man. Ramp your temperature up to 110. Can't do it. Oh, it's hot. Lower your temperature. You can't do it. Yeah. Right? So what's the point of overthinking it? It's hot? Okay, well, bro, throw the AC on. It's cold? Well, throw on a hoodie. Throw on a little cap. Read on.
Yeah. Verse 26. If ye then be not able to do that thing which is least.
Right? See, he said that's the least you can do, is affect your own self, is change your height. You see how cold that is?
That's on you, yeah.
You see how cold that is? Come on. God. The least thing you could do, like, you watch the Capital One commercial where they're like, beer growing, what do you say? Beer growing competition. He was like, beer just grew. The least you can do is just, and a mighty Hebrew Israelite beard pops out. That's the least, right? He said if you can't do the thing which is least, go ahead.
Why take ye thought for the rest?
Why stress out over these other things that you have no effect on, that you can't change the outcome either which way? We want a new building, right? All we could do is just get out there and look.
That's it.
But I can't let myself get so stressed out that now I don't want to look no more because it's pointless. Because that's what stress does. That's why stress kills. Yeah. It kills the dream. It kills the motivation. We want the new building. The Most High said, have faith.
God.
But faith without works is dead.
God.
So you got to believe, and then you got to go out there. First, you got to believe that it's there. I believe it's there. But then you got to get up and look like we've been doing. And what's going to happen in that? You're going to get the call back. They're going to run your information. Nope, you don't qualify. Right? Nope, you don't qualify. Nope, you don't qualify. If we stress over that, then we might as well just give up. We might as well just say, you know what? We're going to stay in this building and deal with and just deal with this. But my mind, his mind, is no, we got to just keep putting ourselves out there because this is what's going to approve us. This is what we have to go through. Go ahead, finish it up.
Verse 27.
He said, read verse 26 one more time.
Come on, verse 26. If ye then be not able to do that thing which is least,
right?
Why take ye thought for the rest?
Right. Why take ye thought for the rest? You really gotta wrap your head around that. Now, Right. So just showing you, man, that stressing out, it can't change nothing. It won't change. It won't change the situation for better. Now, the next, as we transition, we're gonna show you this is what stress does. Right. So where we going?
We're gonna go to Ecclesiastes chapter 30 and verse 21.
Ecclesiasticus?
Ecclesiastes chapter 30 and verse 21. Let's see what stress does to you.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 30, verse 21.
Right. So that's what these block of scriptures are gonna be about. What does stress do? Is stress beneficial? What does it promote? Go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 30, verse 21. Give not over thy mind to heaviness.
Go ahead.
And afflict not thyself in thy own counsel.
Y'all ever heard the saying, man, your mind is your own worst enemy?
Yep.
So why would you afflict yourself in your own mind? Like, the world is already afflicting you enough. Satan is there. You're doing Satan's job for him. Yahweh Shai said there's no condemnation in him. So if you're afflicting yourself in your own mind, you letting Satan win. You letting him just walk all over you. But if you're afflicting yourself in your own mind, then you're not thinking about how can I get past this. You're just in the sunken place.
Yeah.
It's like you ever see those people that get into a fight, they start losing the fight and they don't even fight back. They don't even care no more. They just on the ground getting stomped out. They don't try to fight back. But that's what we do when the situation becomes too much, and we're not even trying to figure it out. The Most High don't give you what you can't handle.
Yep.
We'll forget about that, and we'll get consumed with what's going on, and we give ourselves over to what Satan wants.
That heaviness, because you gotta think about it like this. Let's deal with a fighter. A fighter goes in and he trains, right? And he'll train for 6 months, heavyweight bout of the year. He'll get his cardio up. He's in the mirror, right? Right? Hands of thunder. Like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He got the hands of lightning. When he's hitting that bag, jump roping, and you're like, damn, this nigga can fight, right?
Gun.
And then he gets in the ring. And then he gets hit. Boom! Now, two things can happen. He gets hit and he panics. And what is he? and what happens? What happens if you panic when you get that first hit?
Well, like Roberto Duran when he fought.
Roberto
like,
Duran.
No mas.
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Well, because what happens is when you were supposed to train to take that hit, that's first and foremost. But you were supposed to train your mind that when you took that hit, you didn't break out of the basic things you learned. That's where a fighter goes wrong, when he jumps off his basics and he starts to panic in his head. Oh, I got hit. Next thing you know, he's doing this. And then it's like, whoop, whoop, oh, whoa. And then he's just, cover up. And they're like, cover up. Next thing you know, the towel gets tossed in.
Because he ain't even listening.
Because he's not listening.
Well, why you throw the towel, man?
Yeah, but because you didn't even block. You didn't even do the first thing, which was throw a punch, but keep a defense.
Gun.
So it's showing you, man, that when we start to get stressed, first and foremost, you leave off the basic things you were taught.
Yeah.
You leave off the basics, and we'll go into it, but we're trying to show you here.
You forget the other time, when you get stressed, you forget the other times when the Most High came through for you.
You forget that.
And you forget
but
how he came through for other people around you.
And you know why I say that's basic? Because that's when you look at Ecclesiastes 2, he said, look at the times of past.
Yeah.
Who called the name of the Most High and was forsaken.
Right.
It's basic. Look at the times of the old.
Yeah.
Look at the men around, the sisters around. Look at the situations you've already been pulled through. You didn't let it stress you out. Why let it happen now? Why revert back to street fighting when you are a martial art master? Right? It don't make sense. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 22. The gladness of the heart is the life of man.
The what?
The gladness of the heart is the life of man.
Yeah, man. So all that stressing, that's going to put you in an early grave. And the Most High is about life, not death.
God.
Go ahead.
And the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days.
Go ahead.
Love thy own soul and comfort thy heart.
Do what?
Love thy own soul and comfort thy heart.
Go ahead.
Remove sorrow far from thee. For sorrow hath killed many, and
said what? He said what?
Remove sorrow far from thee.
Yeah, a lot of that's because that sorrow comes from stressing out. Overthinking, overburdening yourself with your own thoughts. He says sorrow did what?
For sorrow hath killed many.
Yeah, man. Stress kills. You think it's so hard, you pop a vein, you get aneurysms. You think so hard that you just get a heart attack. Because it wasn't meant for us to think about a situation or overthink in your own counsel. He said, be not like a bull straying alone by being ripped apart in your own counsel, right? Because that's what it is. Like your mind is ripping you apart. Like you said, your mind is your worst enemy. Yeah. Go ahead, read on.
And there is no profit therein.
There's no what?
Profit therein.
You see that?
Absolutely no profit. You know, my mom, man. I remember my mom years ago. She would be like, "I can't pay the bill. I can't pay the bill. What am I gonna do?" I'm like, What do you mean? What do you mean? What you gonna do? If you can't pay the bill, then we just gotta not have no cable.
Right? Start shedding things away.
Have no cable. It's okay. I mean, you could pay the internet. I mean, you could pay the electricity bill, right? She was like, yeah, and I was like, okay, just don't pay the cable bill. It's all right.
Well, you're like, no, I gotta have cable.
I gotta have that.
This.
Well, you know what the funny thing is? That's how I found the truth. I was all on the Most High. Because that's how I found the school. I didn't have any cable, and I was watching Houston Media Source, and I saw the brothers speak. I saw the brothers teaching.
Nice.
And that's how I found the class. So it was all the Most High's work. So if you find that you can't pay the bill and you stressing over the bill, you don't know what the Most High got going on. You don't know what is in the back end of it. And if it's a stressful situation, you don't know what the Most High has planned. It's like Joseph. Joseph got sold as a slave to Egypt, but he ends up saving not only the Israelites, but he saved the Egyptians as well. And he probably saved a lot of other nations as well that was coming to the Egyptians for food. So you never know what's on the back end of it. So if it's like a really traumatic situation, you don't know what's on the back end, man. It's a real proving ground.
Go ahead, read on.
Envy and wrath shorten the life.
Right, so envy and wrath shorten your life.
Done.
Read on. Why? Because those are heaviness. Those are heavy spirits that if you try to carry those around, they weigh you down. It says they shorten the life. It takes more energy to be envious and wrathful than it does to be happy. When they say it takes more energy to smile than to frown. Think about it. When you're angry and you're trying to keep up that anger, it's like you almost straining yourself where you could just be like, right? It's easy to smile. It's easy for me to smile. I don't care what's going on. God, I've learned through my years that the more you think about it, the more nothing changes. The more nothing changes, the more you think and think and think. Sometimes you gotta really, like it says, expel stress. You gotta be like, man, listen, I ain't think about that no more. I'm over here now. Let me put my mind on something else. Read on.
And carefulness bringeth age.
And what?
Carefulness bringeth age before the time.
When it talks about carefulness, that overthinking, that over stressing, that over processing, that trying to find every which way to maneuver through a situation. That carefulness is not like, oh, he's being careful. It's the thought process where you give yourself over to your own thought. It says it bringeth what?
Bringeth age before the time.
Yeah, you age out before your time.
Dang.
You'll age out before your time. Go to Wisdom of Solomon. Go to Wisdom of Solomon 9:13. Excuse me. What time did we start? 7:30. Oh, okay, we got out. Wisdom of Solomon 9:13.
Wisdom of Solomon 9:13.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
For what a man is he that can know the counsel of God?
Right. So it's a question. What man is he that can know the counsel of God? Go ahead.
Or who can think what the will of the Lord is?
Well, and who can think what the will of the Lord is? But it's hard to think about the counsel of the Most High and the will of the Most High when you're caught up and wrapped up in your own stress. it's hard to think about, man, what would Yahweh do? What does he want me to do? When you caught up in your own mind, that's why it's going to tell us. Watch, read on.
For the thoughts of the mortal men are miserable.
Right, now, the thoughts of mortal men are miserable. We're trying to attain to be immortal, right? And not when Yahweh shall. We trying to do it now. That's the thing. I'm trying to be immortal now. Through my thought process, through my application of wisdom. I'm trying to get to that immortality now. But the thoughts of mortal men, the thoughts of men that worry about themselves, the thoughts of men that are selfish, the thoughts of men that only care about raiment and food, right? Giving thought for tomorrow. He said, give no thought for tomorrow. Let the morrow take care of itself. But those type of people that give those thoughts, like, man, well, tomorrow, what am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do tomorrow? Like, what? It ain't even here yet. He said, boast not yourself in the morrow because it might not pop, it might not come. He said, boast not yourself about tomorrow. It might not be here. Again, I gotta give the disclaimer. Do we move around like and not plan and have a plan for tomorrow? Of course. Do we move around naive? Like, well, give no thought for tomorrow, nigga, so I'm gonna just be a daredevil. I'm on a suicide mission. Of course not. Of course not, but am I gonna stress myself out to the max to where, man, I'm worried about what's gonna happen tomorrow, but I haven't even laid my head down yet to see if I'm gonna wake up for tomorrow. No. Give no thought for tomorrow. I'm gonna let tomorrow handle tomorrow in its time. Everything in its time, man. That's why Job said it. Isn't a man appointed his time?
Yep.
Yeah. So my time is right now, today. Right? Am I thinking about class for Friday? It's in my head. It's on the back burner. It's on the back burner. But can I think about that now and I'm sitting right here now? Yeah. No, I'm having deja vu. Wow. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Hold on, is that?
I'm having deja vu, man. I did this already.
Like it already happened.
You standing right there, same red shirt, you're sitting, yeah, I'm having it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I thought that was part of the class.
No. It was hitting me for like the last 2 minutes, and I'm like, this is familiar. Right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, read on.
Okay. And our devices are but uncertain.
Right, and just like Ricardo said, when you start to stress out, you start to rely on the wrong remedy. Right? Man, I'm stressed out. I gotta go on a vacation. Who was singing that? Young Jeezy. I need a vacation. I'm stressed out. I'm stressed out, so I gotta go vacate. The stress is gonna still be there. Because vacation is like a break from handling business. So that's gonna be there. Well, I gotta go get high. Well, that ain't gonna break the stress. That's gonna break the problem. Issue. It's not gonna solve things. Well, let me just get faded. Well, you're just gonna be a drunk, stressed out person, a high stressed out person. Now you're gonna add paranoia to stress.
Right.
Now you're gonna add paranoia to stress and drunkenness to stress.
Right.
But that's what our people do. But that's why it says the devices are yet uncertain. Go ahead.
Verse 15. For the corruptible body.
For the what?
The corruptible body.
Go ahead.
Presseth down the soul.
Because you know what? The devices that we use corrupt our bodies. All the weed, smoke, alcohol, food, comfort eating, comfort food, comfort whipped cream, comfort cheese puffs. You scooping out ice cream out the gallon. All that comfort to comfort you in a stressful time.
Destroys you.
It destroys the body.
It's like let me ask. Let me see if anybody knows this.
Mm-hmm.
So remember back in the world, if y'all used to smoke, what do we used to say? You used to be like, oh, you finna go pine? Did anybody use that word pine?
That might be a Houston slang.
That was just a Houston thing?
It might have been.
Yeah.
So in Houston, we used to just say, what's up, bro? What you finna do? You'd be like, nah, I'm finna go pine, bro. I'm like, okay, all right. I'll come with you. But that meant that you was finna go smoke. But when you look at the definition of pine, it means to waste away. It means to waste away. So we would be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go waste away. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Why? Because I don't want to handle things.
Yeah.
Because my thoughts have taken me to the limit. And that's what we got to realize, man, about our own thoughts.
Okay.
It says the corruptible body does what?
Press it down the soul.
Right?
And the earthly tabernacle
Right.
weighed down the mind.
Right, you see that? The earthly tabernacle that has been corrupted through the wrong devices, now your mind starts to get weighed down. The one thing we have to realize, as no matter what, we are all mortal men, is that our thoughts can only take us so far. Our thoughts, and all you gotta do is look at yourself and say, well, this is where I've gotten. Your best idea, your best thought has gotten you to where you are now. That's where the wisdom is supposed to kick in and override everything and say, wait a minute, well, if my best thought, if me stressing out is what got me here, then obviously it ain't working. Right? Your best thought got you here. Your best overthinking got you here. Right? The blunt got you here. The alcohol, the weed, all that stuff got you here. Some people relieve stress by having a lot of sex, being promiscuous. Right? They think that that's the relief, or by cutting themselves. Or I seen a chick. They do the thing where they hang themselves from the ceiling. They put the hooks in their body and they hang from the ceiling and it's like, oh, it's such a release.
In their body?
Yeah, they put hooks in their body and hang from the skin.
It's because they want to feel something else.
Because they want to feel some other type.
That's why they cut themselves.
They cut them. You got the cutters.
Yeah.
But I used to work with this chick at Apple way back, and I'm like, so what you into? And she was all tatted up, big old lip plate and ears and tattooed eyebrows and just whole body tatted, everything, big ass gauges, and she had added me on Facebook. And I was going through her Facebook, and she would go to these parties where they would hang each other from ceilings. The chains, and they would hook them into their flesh, into their ribs, right here, and they just hang like free, and just hang there like, what a release. I'm like, what? What are you releasing? And then some people do what? They go to the gym. They overly exercise.
Yep.
Right? Some people overly eat. You have all this overconsumption of carnal things, the devices that weigh us down.
You got shopping too.
Oh, shopping, shop therapy.
Yeah, they got
right?
Retail
therapy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, finish it up.
That museth upon many things.
Yeah, see the mind, the corrupted mind, it muses on many things.
Yeah.
It overthinks. It stresses out. Man, when you gotta go eat to relieve yourself, when you gotta go eat to relieve stress, it's a problem. When you gotta do something carnal to relieve your mind. Now I can understand taking your mind off of things, like let me give my mind to something else to take my mind off of it for a brief moment. But when that's your everyday remedy, what does it bring on?
It's like, for some people, it's music too.
Music, that's another one.
Yeah.
I knew a little kid, my rib, she works at she's a teacher. She works at a school, and she works with like the special ed kids. And the one kid, when he starts getting frantic and losing it, they put on the Migos for this dude. The Migos and Cardi B. And I'm like, what? I remember I had a conversation with him. I'm like, bro, the music, that ain't gonna do nothing for you. He's like, but it calms me down. I'm like, truthfully, it amps you up. It gives you the ammunition for the next outburst. Yeah. And he's 18. He's old enough to understand. So I talked to him. And he was getting what I was saying, but he was like, nah, I ain't messing with that. Nigga, you gonna put the Migos on for me. Right? You gonna put on Gucci Mane. Because that's what he's been conditioned into. Is throwing on his big headphones and tuning everybody out and letting Gucci Mane tell him how to sell packs. Right? Bad and bougie, right? Your guy, right? So, Gucci Mane.
Just gonna put a brother out there.
Put a man out there. Go to Proverbs. Go ahead.
Before Proverbs, go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 14 and verse.
Oh yeah,
verse 13.
that's a good one. Yeah.
2nd Esdras, chapter 14, verse what?
Verse 13.
Yep.
2nd Esdras, chapter 14, verse 13.
This is where your mind should be at. Right here. Go ahead.
Okay. Now therefore, set thine house in order.
But see, you can't set your house in order if you're stressed. If your mind ain't in order, how can you set your house in order? Because your kids can sense the stress, your rib can sense the stress, or your husband can sense the stress. Everybody can sense it and they can see it, even if you try to hide it. So the first thing, you want to set your house in order, right?
And that's why it says in Wisdom of Solomon, let me jump back here, it says, who can know the counsel of the Most High? Well, this is it. But again, you can't know it if your mind is bogged down by your own mind and your own thought. Go ahead.
Now therefore set thine house in order.
Go ahead.
And reprove thy people.
And what?
Reprove thy people.
Because that's why the Most High gave us this wisdom. It's to reprove our people. It's to reprove them out of a stressful situation and a stressful mind. Go ahead.
Comfort such of them as be in trouble.
But how can you be a comfort if you yourself ain't comforted? You know where your comfort is at. It's in this book. It's in the scriptures. That's the only comfort that we can get. It's from the Most High. So if you're not if you can't comfort yourself, how can you comfort somebody else?
You won't. You won't. It don't work like that. Well, it can. It said there's a man that's a help to himself, but no help to others, but not a profit to himself. So it can, but that only works so often to where people start to look at you as a hypocrite.
Yeah.
People start to see the holes in your story.
You help them to a certain point.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, you can't help me no more. And then they you lose them. Go ahead.
And now renounce corruption.
Go ahead.
Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man.
Because the mortal thoughts, man, that's the burdens of man. In Ecclesiastes, it tells you that the world is in your hearts. The world is in your mind. So the world is what you make it. The world is in your mind, man. So you get your burdens, they come from yourself. Yes, we all been dealt different playing cards, but at the end of the day, the Most High works with balance. So you could be poor, you could be rich. These rich kids are still committing suicide. They're still lacking in many spiritual ways, and
but they got money.
But they got money.
But even money comes with stress.
Yeah.
Even right, more money, more problems. So so it shows you that it doesn't matter what you're dealing with. Broke, rich, poor, wealthy, this car, that car. You can have all the cars in the world. Imagine Rick Ross and them be bragging about how many cars they got. He said, I got so many cars, they thought the DMV thought I was doing mail fraud. Now, you got that many cars. Think about the maintenance on that, the stress to have to keep up maintenance on that.
Yeah.
You got the cars, you can ride around and do your thing and parking lot pimp, but now I gotta maintain that.
You know what I seen?
How many oil changes?
You know what I seen today?
What's that?
I seen Adrian Broner, the boxer.
Yeah, Broner. Oh, come on. The Adrian retard.
He was on Instagram asking for donations of $10. It's like, bro, you're a boxer. You made millions.
He didn't
You
follow
make
Mayweather.
millions.
Yeah. Yep.
But even Mayweather, his money's low too.
No.
That's why he wants to fight again.
Peep this. Y'all see Delonte West? This is what's sad in my heart because Delonte West at one point was a millionaire because he got good contracts from the NBA. He was a great NBA player.
Yep.
Right? He wasn't a Hall of Famer or nothing like that, but he did his thing. He made money. But look at this dude. For the last 10 years.
Yeah.
For the last 10 years, ever since LeBron left Cleveland the first time, Delonte West, man, the money can't save him. He been strung out. They say he got bipolar disorder. He getting beat up. They saw the video of him getting beat up in the middle of the street by an Edomite. I was like, damn. Nobody came to help this dude. They knew who he was. Nobody hopped out and helped this guy.
Yeah.
Think about that. He got money. He had money, but now he's broke. They talking about they gotta do a GoFundMe for him and get him back on his feet, and everybody's trying to reach out now. But imagine what he was going through when he had that money. A fool with money is just a fool with money.
Yep.
Until he's broke. That brings on stress. You see that? So it's about where is your mind at in all situations.
Yeah, man.
Where's your mind at when you're broke? Where's your mind at when you're rich? Where's your mind at when you have, when you don't have, when you got a little bit, when you got a lot of it? Where does a man's mind have to be? And if it's not in the right place, if it's not on the Most High, this is what stress will do to you. Did you finish?
Go ahead.
Put off now the weak nature.
Go ahead.
And set, verse 15, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee.
And this is the thing, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I used to have a problem with this right here. Like, being able to set aside the heavy thoughts. Cause some things, man, you'll just sit there and you'll just dwell on it, and you'll just dwell on it, you'll just dwell on it. It's like, oh man. But you can't do nothing about it. It's like we read in Luke. You can't make one hair grow. You can't add a feet. to your height. So certain things, man, you just can't control. It's out of your hands. So you just gotta let it go. Especially, you know, if you did something wrong, you apologize, you tried to make it right. You messed up. You apologize. You tried to make it right. What else can you do? What else can you do? You can't let it weigh you down and burden you. Go ahead.
Unto thee, castaway, okay. And haste thee to flee from these times.
Because that's how you're gonna be able to flee, man. You gotta be able to think clearly. Gotta be able to think clearly. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of your times.
And the strength of salvation.
And our people need help. So we gotta make sure that you, first of all, can help yourself, help your household, then you can help your people.
Yeah, because we're not gonna be able to leave out of these times. That's what we have to realize is that it doesn't matter what country you run to.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter unless you lock yourself in a time warp machine and bury yourself under the ground. You're going to be subjected to all the different stresses of this life. The Bible said that's the condition of the battle that men on the earth shall face, is that we're going to go through these things. If the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, if the earth is defiled, if we're going to be persecuted for teaching Christ, just like the apostles and all those men. You can't run from it. We can't run from it, but we have to, when it says haste to flee from this, it says haste to flee from these times. It's a mind state. It's a mental thinking that you have to put yourself in. You have to box in your mind and put a hedge around your thoughts.
Yes, sir.
And say, you know what? I'm going to put my mind on righteousness. I'm going to put my mind on the Most High and on His will. And that's what's going to protect you. Right? Go ahead. What's the next scripture?
We're going to go to
Proverbs.
oh, you want to go to Proverbs?
We go there.
Where you going to?
Go. Slide down. Slide up. You got time. Go to
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Go to Proverbs 14 and verse 13.
Proverbs 14, verse 13.
Yes, sir.
Even in laughter, the heart is sorrowful,
Go ahead.
and the end of that mirth is heaviness.
It's like we were talking about. It's like you were bringing out, Ricardo, how you'll try to solve it with liquor, with your weed,
With mirth, with jolty, with happiness.
yeah, like I'm living my best life. Like
Right?
stop it. Our people is not living their best life right now.
Yeah.
Stop it. Like I hate when people in the world say that.
Yeah, I'm living my best life.
Like stop, bro. You're not living. This is your best life. Nah.
Guns and drugs and weed and pimping and hoeing is your best life.
Yeah,
If
man.
lack of wisdom is our best life, then whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, bro.
Whoa.
That is not the. it got to be better, man. So, if that's your idea of a best life, when all that is over, when the partying is done, then guess what? That heaviness is right back. After Friday night and Saturday night of you partying, guess what? It's Sunday.
And giving yourself to that myrrh, that mirth, that happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, when that's done, then what?
Heaviness.
Heaviness is gonna come because that stress, that burden, that weight,
Never went away.
you never put that off. You never found a way to give that burden to the Most High.
God,
Right?
Go to Proverbs 15 and 13.
Like, verse 2. Proverbs.
You said what?
Say, then you broke too.
Yeah, because you brought,
You just made it worse.
you bought all the drinks at the bar.
And that's the thing
Round
about
on me, right? He did one of these, round on me. Whoa.
and that's the thing about when you try to solve it carnally. When you try to solve it carnally, it only gets worse. If food is your outlet, you try to solve it with food. Oh my gosh, you get worse. You try to solve it with weed. Now you broke. Now your brain's damaged. You try to solve it with liquor. You black out. You probably did some damage that you don't even remember. Destroying your family every time. I mean, you're only destroying yourself. Go to Proverbs 15:13.
Proverbs chapter 15, verse 13. A merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken.
But by what?
sorrow of the heart, the spirit is broken.
And this is the thing, man. We gotta try to make our hearts merry. And how do you do that? You stick to the scriptures and what the Most High wants. That's the only way. Because if your heart is sorrowful, your spirit will always be broken. And if your spirit is broken, what can you do? What can you do? I mean, if your spirit is broken, then
there's no hope. The hope is lost.
Yeah.
And that's where people, it says a just man falls 7 times, but a wicked man falls into mischief. That's where the wickedness comes out of a person, because now I'm going to let the mischievous part of my thinking hold me down. I'm going to let...
You pretty much gave up.
Yeah, you give up. But you give up and give into something, because the funny part is there's really no giving up. It's really just giving in to the left hand or the right hand. Now, we're very good at what? Giving into the left hand. We always look at the right side like, man, that's just too hard. Man, y'all require too much. Man, the Most High, he don't like me. But the weed demon likes you. The alcohol, the spirits, don't they like you? The lust, that likes you? Well, no, it's not that likes you more. It's that you're willing to give over to that to try to remedy your mind. That's all it is. You're because there's no fight. Listen, there's no fight to smoke blunt on blunt. Because guess what? If you send a group text out right now, some of us send a group text out right now. I got the hotel popping down the street, blah 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 blah. Bring the blunts, 40s, and right? The blunts, 40s, and women. Guess what? That hotel will be packed. But if you sent that same text, hey, Shalom Akim, I'm doing a study session at the hotel. Niggas would be like, oh, I got this to go do. My mama and them. I'm busy over here. I got to babysit. It'll be a lot of excuse. Because it's easy to give into the negative.
Yeah. Or if you send a text, and I'm gonna kill myself. I'm at the hotel. Like ain't nobody gonna come either. But they'll come for the kickback at the hotel. Right. But when you going through some real stuff and you need some real help, nah, they're not there for you. They're not, man.
They'll go to the funeral.
Huh?
They'll go to the funeral though.
Yeah, they'll definitely go to the funeral.
They'll pour out some Henny.
Yep.
But
My dude.
yeah, but when you needed them, you just needed somebody to talk to, they're not there. Go to Proverbs 17 and 22.
Proverbs chapter 17, verse 22.
Yes, sir.
A merry heart doeth good like a medicine.
Yeah, man, that's the best medicine you can have.
God.
It's to have a merry heart. You always say this, man. People who live with cancer, and they don't really start dying until you like, oh, bro, did you know you had cancer? And it's like, oh, man. And then they just sink. They sink. You had the ESPN reporter that died. He was like 34.
Stuart Scott?
Nah, the other one. That's another one that people don't really know about. But he died, and he was like 34. But he died of cancer. But the whole time he was living, like, nobody was like, he didn't know that he had cancer.
So he was diagnosed, and all of a sudden it's downhill.
Nah, he just got sick and died.
Oh wow.
He got sick and he died. And when they did like the test and everything, it was like, oh yeah, he had cancer. So it was like, you see how your mind is very powerful, man. It's very powerful. So he didn't know, so he carried on with his life
until that time.
Until that time. So it's the same thing, man. Like, there's nothing better to have. That's the best medicine you can have is your mind to be on point. That's why the scripture says the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they're spirit and life. Because it's all about the brain. It's all about your heart, man. Go ahead.
But a broken spirit drieth the bones.
But if your mind is broken,
Dry up.
you dry up, man. That's it. Like you were saying, if you give in, then that's it. And it's easy to give in. Because, like we were hitting in the beginning, we understand there's going to be tribulation, persecution, distress, famine, nakedness. You're gonna need to have patience. You're gonna need to have so many things, and a lot of people just don't. They don't want to fight. They don't want to fight through that. They rather just coast along. Go to Proverbs 18 and 14.
Proverbs chapter 18, verse 14.
Yes, sir.
The spirit of a man will sustain his infirmity.
But if your spirit is broken, how can you sustain? How can you sustain the negative things that be around you, man? This day-to-day life. How can you sustain it? How can you bear it? Go ahead.
You can't. Let a wounded spirit who can bear.
Yeah. If your spirit is strong, you can sustain when you are falling. When you're going through some stuff, you can sustain it. But if your spirit is broken down, and when something happens to you, your spirit is already broken down, so you just going.
Yeah, because again, it goes back to wisdom of Solomon. The corruptible body weighed down the mind, our devices are yet uncertain. A wounded spirit, you're gonna rely on the wrong things to fix that infirmity.
Yeah.
You're gonna rely on the wrong thing. You're gonna overthink it to the point where you think yourself out of it. And that's the point to show that, that's one of the points to show that, we overthink ourselves out of the blessings and out of doing the good. Like we overthink to the point where it's like, now you get double-minded and faithless. Now you're moving around like double dutch. Up, right? You pump faking. Ooh. I don't know if I should shoot my shot. Shoot your shot. But you thinking, like it's like when you play sports.
Yeah.
And they say, don't think, just shoot. Shoot the ball. Catch and shoot. Catch and shoot. Curry. You think if Curry thought about shooting, he'd be the best 3-point shooter ever? Hell no, he'd be getting this shot blocked every minute. But he caught and he shot. You think Harden is thinking about, man, which way did I take this dude off the dribble? He's like, I'm going to go left, right, and come back left.
That's like, I played goalie in soccer, and like you have to commit. You either hesitate and they're gonna score on you, or you commit and you get the ball.
Yeah, you commit, boom, right?
Yeah.
You got to go with.
You gotta commit.
So even if they fake you might have to
Yep.
go with it, but then you got to come back.
Yeah.
But it's like soccer. It's like anything that's physical, or carnal, but it's much more spiritual. It's much more in the spirit, right? What scripture we at?
We're going to go to Proverbs 25 and 20.
Proverbs 25 and 20.
Yes, sir.
Proverbs chapter 25, verse 20.
This right here is another thing that we do as well. Go ahead.
As he that taketh away a garment in cold weather,
Go ahead.
and as vinegar upon neter.
Neter is pretty much sodium. It's like salt. So you put the vinegar on there, and then the neter just goes away. Go ahead.
So he that singeth songs to a heavy heart.
So is what?
So is he that singeth songs to a heavy heart.
How many of us, man, we didn't went through a breakup and all we did was listen to some good breakup music.
Man, you throwing that?
Slow
You
song.
throwing all the slow R&B.
All the slow R&B.
You throwing all the breakup music. Monica and
Mariah Carey.
We Belong Together. Kelly Price, R. Kelly, Sam Smith.
When a woman's fed up.
Yeah, Keisha Cole was the biggest one at one point.
You got to leave Lenny in there now.
You need him in there.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, but you think about that, man. Think about, does that help? When you sit there and listen to all that slow music,
Nah.
Sad.
you get more stressed out. You get more, oh baby, I'm begging, please, why'd you leave me? I didn't do nothing with the music is saying.
And she probably was supposed to leave you. She was probably
Right.
She was probably worse for you. She was probably a demon, all that. But you start listening to that music, you can't even think straight. So you like, oh man, I miss her. But you don't stop to think like, oh man, you know what? She was unfaithful.
Yeah.
She don't care. She used you. All that.
But next thing you know, you showing up at her job, crying in the elevator with a bouquet of flowers. You roll up on a white horse, right? You trying to do all the romantic things you saw in the movies, thinking that you're gonna win her back. Because the mind, the thought process, you start stressing out, how do I get her back? What? And you make all the wrong moves. You see that? So just showing y'all, man, that the stressing, the overthinking, the overcomplicating things with our own thoughts, for one, it's not needed and it's not beneficial.
Yeah.
So stress will kill you, right? Another thing stress does, it makes us afraid. Stress makes us afraid. I've been saying it. It makes you afraid to act. Watch, go to Ecclesiastes. This is the next point we're going to hit. Stress makes you afraid. It takes away that strength. It takes away that courage. So Ecclesiastes 38 and verse 18.
Man, Dawiyah posted a real good one.
What do you throw in there? When a man loves a woman. Right? Who's that? Michael Bolton? Who's that? That was Michael Bolton, right? Right? Nothing. What do you say? When a man loves a woman, nothing else, something. I don't remember.
She can do no wrong.
She can do no wrong. Yeah, right. That's the thing. But the wisdom says otherwise. Right? We don't make it a woman's class, but go ahead, read that.
Ecclesiastes 38 and 13.
18.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
For of heaviness cometh death.
You see that? So,
Yeah.
just leading into the next point, heaviness brings death. We already went through all that. Go ahead.
And the heaviness of the heart breaketh strength.
Yeah, and that overthinking of the mind, that heaviness, trying to calculate every single move and thought, and this got to be in this place, and if this is not right, then it's not going to make it. And what about giving it to the Most High? But it said it breaks the strength. It breaks the strength for you to be able to keep pushing forward. When you're stressed out, again, you go and you lean on the wrong devices. You lean on the wrong things for strength. Overeating don't promote strength. Over having sex don't promote strength. Over drinking, weed smoking, all these things don't promote strength and growth. They actually promote you going back.
Yeah.
Right? From here, go to Job 3:25.
One of my favorites.
Job chapter 3, verse 25.
Go ahead.
For the thing which I greatly feared is come upon me.
And this is the thing, man. The thing that you greatly feared, think about it. It's gonna come. It's gonna come. What's the thing that the majority of us greatly fear? Losing someone.
Well, it's different for everyone.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, you're right.
It's different for everyone. The thing that we all fear is going to be a different thing. Some people know how to take loss. Some people know how to take loss. Some people don't. Some people's fears is losing their car over losing their rib. You know, everybody's fear is different.
Yeah.
You know?
For me, it would be my people, my parents.
See?
You know, when they finally
And that's not my greatest fear.
do go, yeah.
And that's not my greatest fear, because I've accepted that my parents are old and they gotta go. You see that? So it's different for everybody.
Kind.
Right? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
And that which I was afraid of is come unto me.
Go ahead.
I was not in safety, neither had I rest, neither was I quiet, yet trouble came.
And this is how it is, man. That's just how life is. You ain't gonna be doing nothing for trouble to come to you. And it's just gonna happen. But that's how it is. It has to happen. What's up?
That's like I came to the truth, and like on one day my father passed away, and he was like really important to me.
Yeah. That's how it is. But you know, you can burden yourself with that in the mind, and then that affects everything that you do. That affects the way you move, walk, talk, the way you carry yourself. Or, you know, you can use the scriptures, you can use the wisdom, use your husband, your brothers and sisters that surround you and help you to get past it. You know what I mean? So that's how it is, man. That stress, especially for losing someone. Think about it, man. I just went to a funeral 2 weeks ago, and you'll see people that, you know, they still go to the grave site. They sitting there with a lawn chair, and it's like they're already gone.
My grandma does that.
Yeah, so you know that's you don't want. That's where the mind can take you. They're already gone. Like that's not even their spirit. Their spirit isn't even there anymore. Because even when you look at somebody that's passed, when you look at their body, their corpse, it's like, yeah, they don't even look like them.
Yeah.
They don't even look like them. So, yeah, you don't want it to take. You don't want that to take over your mind. You know what I mean? Carl?
Or like in the movie Rocky, where Rocky's always at his wife's grave, just talking to her and whatnot.
Yeah.
Reading the newspaper to her and whatnot.
Man, I seen Rocky, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, he would do that.
Yeah.
He did that in the later ones, but he was doing that to what? To relieve his stress. And even that's a wrong device.
Yeah.
You talking to the dead to try to relieve yourself, it don't make sense. It doesn't work. After a while, it's not going to work for you.
Okay.
And that's what we have to understand. Where you at?
I'm going to go to Job chapter 9, verse 27.
Job chapter 9, verse 27. If I say, I'll forget my complaints, I'll leave off my heaviness and comfort myself.
That's what you should do. Go ahead.
I am afraid of all my sorrows. I know that thou will not hold me innocent.
And this is the thing, man. You'll look at, this is how stress makes you fearful. Because now you start to look at, okay, if I leave off everything, the Most High, he's still not going to hold me innocent. You don't think, you forget that the Most High has grace and mercy. So you start to think, you start to formulate certain things in your mind that goes against the scriptures, goes against what the Most High says. So, that stress, man, that stress is definitely not what you want, man. Go to 1 Maccabees 9 and verse 7. 1 Maccabees chapter 9, verse 7 through 10.
1 Maccabees chapter 9, verse 7.
Oh yeah, read this. Read that.
1 Maccabees chapter 9, verse 7.
Right, because this is what we talk about stress making us afraid. So this was a situation with Judas Maccabeus, and remember, they were always constantly fighting wars against Antiochus Epiphanes, against the Romans, the Greeks.
Yep.
So, they were in these stressful times of seeing armies greater than them. Remember, this was a few men. And they would see an army of 100,000 and be like, whoa, whoa, we can't do it. They would, and if they didn't stick to the fundamentals, the stress would take them off the mission. And this was an example. Watch, read.
When Judas therefore saw that his host slipped away,
right,
and that the battle pressed upon him,
right,
he was sore troubled in mind.
He was what?
Sore troubled in mind.
So he got a little bit anxious. He got a little bit, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah.
My host is splitting.
Okay.
They breaking up. They're losing the ranks. So he got a little bit worried. Go ahead.
And much distress.
Come on.
For that he had no time to gather them together.
Right, because the war was in array. The battle was going. So he's like trying to get everything together. But what happens? Read.
Nevertheless, unto them that remained, he said, let us arise and go up against our enemies.
Right, so he didn't stay in that stressful mind. He said, let us arise and go fight, man. Like, we got to fight for our lives here.
Ooh, God.
We got to continue the battle. Now, we know we ain't going out and slaying the heathen with a sword, but we got to slay our demons every day.
Ooh.
We got to fight those demons. And if you let stress be the determining factor of whether or not you're going to fight and how well you fight, you lost. Yeah. You lost. Go ahead.
If peradventure we may be able to fight with them.
Read.
But they dehorted him.
Right.
Saying,
right,
we shall never be able.
They said what?
We shall never be able.
Yeah, they were like, man, we ain't going to be able to do this. We can't. We can't. Go ahead.
Let us now rather save our lives.
Right, we going to run. Let us save our lives and run away. Read.
And hereafter we will return with our brethren and fight against them.
Go ahead.
For we are but few.
Right. You see that? Was that it?
No.
Go ahead.
Then Judas said,
what did he say?
Yahweh forbid.
He said, God forbid, because the Most High didn't give us the spirit of fear.
God.
But he gave us the spirit of strength and of a sound mind. Go ahead.
That I should do this thing.
Right.
And flee away from them.
He's like, man, I ain't running. When I'm outside of the club, he said, I ain't never scared, right? Judas Maccabeus was like, bro, I ain't never scared. We ain't going to run. We're not going to be fearful. And this is the principles that we have to adopt. But if Judas let stress and distress and anguish and torment and overthinking what he was doing naturally, because that's all it is doing what you do naturally. If he let the things that he did naturally come into, now I got to overthink, well, do I go fight or do I not? Do I run or do we not? Man, you would have died running away.
Yes.
He said, bro, God forbid, because this is not what we're here for. Read.
If our time be come, let us die manfully.
He said, if our time be come. You see that? He said, bro, when it's our time, we'll go. Whatever your time is. That's why I love watching that 300. I love watching that 300 because them cats was like, listen, we here to fight, and when our day to fight or die, either it's gonna be our day to fight or it's gonna be our day to die. But we're at least gonna fight until the death. Yeah. This is the things that we have to adopt. When you move out the stress and put that courage in your head, man, you be a beast. He said, if our time become, go ahead.
Let us die manfully for our brethren.
Go ahead.
And let us not stain our honor.
Because the stress, the overthinking, that's how you stain your honor. That's how you stain the honor that the Most High has put on you.
That's right.
You see that? So stress kills, man. Let's go into this next point.
So the next point is Esau's oppression.
And how that stresses us and how that tries to put us in a certain mind state.
Yeah.
But we can't let it. Because this oppression was made to purge and to refine and to check and to chastise. So if we know that, you can't lose your scruples. You can't lose your marbles, man, over something that was designed to do its purpose. And that's what it's doing. We know they took it overboard. They're going overboard with what they do, right? But we have to be of sound mind. So where we at?
We're going to go to Ecclesiastes chapter 31 and verse
1. Yep.
We're going to do Ecclesiastes 31, verse 1 and 2.
Ecclesiastes chapter 31, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Watching for the riches consumeth.
See, this is what Esau wants you to do. They want you to watch for riches. They want you to watch for riches in their kingdom. That's why they pump it into our music. Yeah, money. It's all about the dollar bill. Money.
Pump it, man.
So the watching for riches, the stressing of, man, I gotta chase the bag. Nigga, you've been chasing the bag since you was 16. And you ain't never caught up to the bag yet. You've been getting the money that floats out the bag and floats into the wind, but the actual bag, you ain't never touched. For how long you been chasing the bag? 20, 30 years? My pop's been chasing the bag in America since the 60s. This cat looks so old because of stress and chasing money and watching for money. He looked older than his own dad. My grandpa's 100. My dad is about to be 70. My dad looked older than my grandpa.
That's like, I read this one book and it was like, if you chase the money, you will forever be chasing it because it's running away. You just gotta let it come to you. It got to chase you, you know?
Anything you chase is on the run.
Yeah.
Anything you got, if you gotta chase a woman, that means she don't want you. Chasing money, the money don't want you to have it. But it's like, no, I gotta chase that. I gotta get rich or die trying. So read it again.
Watching for riches consumeth the flesh.
It does what?
Consumeth the flesh.
You see, watching for riches consumes the flesh. Because not only do I have to watch for it, but I gotta watch who's trying to watch me. Go ahead.
And the care thereof driveth away sleep.
You see that? Read on. Read verse 2.
Watching care will not let a man slumber.
Yeah, all that watching and overthinking and stressing and, man, I gotta be on watch. It's not talking about, like when it talks about a bishop being vigilant and taking care of the flock. It's talking about this overwatching, overstress, overthinking about how I'm going to get things, how I'm going to keep things, when things are going to come, giving thought for the morrow. That's what that's talking about when it says the watching. You see that? It says it don't let you sleep. Read on.
As a sore disease breaketh sleep.
Yeah, it's like you got a sore disease, man, that's just tormenting you on your bed. Because you're just up thinking. And your mind is just like processing your whole day and then trying to evaluate the day that's to come. And then you're trying to evaluate 2 weeks into the future. You don't get no sleep like that. Right? Go to Psalm 55 and verse 1.
Oh, man.
Oh, wait, where?
Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 40, verse 1.
Oh, you throwing things? Wait, was it? No, it's there. It's there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to go down. Right?
Yeah, go to Psalms 55 and 1.
No. Go to Ecclesiastes 40 and 1. He's absolutely right because of the time. Go to Ecclesiastes 40 and 1. We'll skip a few.
Ecclesiastes
absolutely right.
Chapter 40, verse 1.
Woo!
Great travail It's created for every man.
So we understand this, whether you rich, you poor, you tall, you short, you believe in the word of the Most High, or you don't.
God.
Great travail is created for every man. So that you gonna believe that for sure. Go ahead.
And in heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam.
Go ahead.
From the day that they go out of their mother's womb till the day that they return to the mother of all things.
Go ahead.
Their imagination of things to come.
Their what?
Imagination.
Their imagination of things to come.
And that's where all these thoughts and stress brings you. You start imagining things.
Man.
You start making up things in your head of how you want things to be, how things should be, how they could have been. How about how they are? And if they're not to your liking, then let's think about how to fix things. But we start to get into our imagination, and our imagination does what? What do they say imaginations do?
They fly away.
They run, they fly away, or you run wild in your imaginations.
Kind.
Go ahead.
And the day of death trouble their thoughts and cause fear of heart.
Yeah, man, you don't know how you're gonna pass. Only the Most High knows that, so why even worry about that? You don't know. You don't know if you're gonna live till you're 80 or 90 or 100, or if you're gonna pass tomorrow. You don't know, so why do you worry about it?
I used to think about that a lot. Like, damn, how am I gonna die? And I'm like, car accident? Something weird like Final Destination?
Oh, no.
Right? You know, you think about it like, man, how is it going? And then you start going through all these premonitions, and the next thing you know, you don't want to go and leave the house. And you're like, wait.
And that's what I was gonna say. That's another thing that Esau did. Esau did, man. Esau used their media, and we're so used to seeing death in these movies on TV that it's like, yeah, it's almost like you are a little scared to just leave the house sometimes, just to drive. You be seeing some car accidents, man, on TV that you're like, damn, yeah, I'm not trying to go out like that, or I'm not trying to, like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, like, I can't go on a boat. I'm not going on a boat, and it's because of Titanic, and it's because of what happened in World War II, when America bombed Japan. That ship that brought the atomic bomb to one of the islands off the coast of Japan, it got hit, and when that ship sunk, it was like 300 Navy men that were in the water for like a week, and the sharks were just tearing them up.
Ew.
The sharks were tearing them up. They had no food, no water. A lot of them just swam to the ocean and killed themselves because they were seeing the sharks just eat up everybody. But the day, you think about death, man, that just messes with your mind.
Yeah, it does. That imagination of, like, it makes you not want to do, like, I remember I went on a cruise, and the only thing I was thinking about was like, damn, what happens if a Titanic situation happens? I'm like, whoa. And it made you not enjoy the things that you're supposed to enjoy. You no longer enjoy things because you're sitting there waiting on the bad thing to happen. The calamity, you stress out. How am I gonna go? Is it in my sleep? Right? Is it in a car? Is it doing some random chore? Right? You see all these different things, and you're like, man, people just died off of throwing the trash out. And you're like, is that gonna be me?
You ever seen
It's like, I was watching a video the other day, and this guy was riding a bike, and the semi-truck, it was like an 18-wheeler or something, and it didn't see that guy on the bike. And the guy was like, hey, and he grabs onto it, and then his bike goes under, and he goes under, and the car keeps driving, and he sits there, he sits up, walks away. Nothing happened to him.
Oh,
Wow.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it was
Ran
fight, but he
straight
was
over.
good. He's like, I'm alive.
You know, within the imaginations of the mind, I got to the point where, like, in like the peak of my wickedness, people were kicking in doors and stuff, you know what I'm saying? To where I was on super high alert.
Waving the fofo.
Super high alert to where, like, any car that drove slow, it got to the point where I'm doing yard work just to see who's passing by.
You got paranoid.
Paranoid.
Because that's what stress brings, a level of paranoia. You start getting paranoid with everything because you're trying to anticipate. That overthinking makes you try to anticipate, but the more you anticipate, the more wrong you are.
Yep.
The more we try to anticipate how the Most High is going to direct us, the more moves we make that are off. Y'all see that, right? Go ahead, read on, watch.
Verse 3.
And go ahead.
From him that sitteth on a throne of glory.
Right, and there's no one that's exempt from this level of stress if you give your mind over to it. Read on.
From him that sitteth on the throne of glory, unto him that is humbled in earth and ashes.
Go ahead.
From him that weareth purple and a crown.
Go ahead.
Unto him that is clothed with a linen frock.
Go ahead.
Wrath,
right,
and envy,
right,
trouble, and unquietness, fear of death.
You see that? That fear of death?
God, man.
That stressing, like, how am I gonna go? That fear of death, man. Bro, go ahead, read on.
And anger, and strife, and in the time of rest upon his bed, his night's sleep.
Right.
Dew changes his knowledge.
Right. So what do we do with our stress? Where are we supposed to put it? This is going to be the next point we hit before we end it. Where do we put it? Go ahead. 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 6. So the next point is, what do we do with stress? What do we do when we're feeling overwhelmed? When we're feeling like it's just too much? 1 Peter 5 and verse 6.
1 Peter chapter 5, verse 6.
Go ahead.
Humble yourselves, therefore.
Wait, do what?
Humble yourselves.
No, get more prideful.
Humble yourselves.
No, exalt yourself.
Humble yourselves.
Separate yourself.
Humble yourselves.
Go ahead.
Therefore, under the mighty hand of Yahweh.
Right, go ahead.
That he may exalt you in due time.
Read.
Casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you.
Right, so it tells us to humble ourselves, but what does that mean? Philippians 4 and verse 6. Philippians 4 and verse 6. What does it mean to humble yourself in the sight of the Most High? Well, first and foremost is this. Go ahead. Philippians 4.
Philippians chapter 4, verse 6.
Go ahead.
Be careful for nothing.
Well, first of all, I got to stop thinking. When it says be careful for nothing, I got to lower my level of anxiety and anxiousness and willingness to accomplish what I can't change. The willingness to overthink myself into a hole. I gotta say, you know what, let me step back real quick and let me put things in the proper perspective. Right?
God.
Who's in control?
Most High.
Jesus take the wheel. Nope. He always had the wheel. Right? You was never a driver. You gotta establish that in your mind first and foremost. That it ain't your car. You ain't making payments on the car. You just an Uber in the back. You call for the ride. You in the Uber. And Yahweh Shai is moving the pieces. You got to tell that to your mind. You got to humble down off your high horse and stop acting like if the more I think, the better things are going to get. The more I stress out, the more the situation's going to change. Yeah, you're right. It will. For the negative. So you got to humble back, pull back a little bit and say, and remind yourself, Yahweh brought me here to this point. He's going to drive me right out.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But in everything,
right?
By prayer.
Some things.
In everything. By prayer.
Read.
And supplication.
Yeah, now I got to humble myself and pray. I got to pray to the Most High. I'm feeling stressed. Yahweh, cast this burden from me if it be thy will. Like Yahweh Shai. You think he wasn't stressed the hell out when it was time to get put up on that cross? Said he was praying blood. He was praying so hard it was like drops of blood. Come on, man. You think he didn't ask the Most High, Yahweh, if it be thy will, let this cup pass? That's what he did. He gave us the example of how to deal with a stressful situation. He didn't run. He didn't clam up. Because some people do what when it's stressful? They just shut down.
Yep.
Stressed. And you hear the shutdown sequence. Right? You just hear, and they fold up. You're like, whoa, what happened to you? Damn, you fold like an envelope. Or some people get too hard. They go too hard. They don't have balance.
Okay.
Yahweh Shai was the example. Wait a minute. It's stressful. I got to go through death. Knowing that you got to die is one thing. But knowing how, when, where, how, and why, come on, man. You think Yahweh Shai his brain didn't want to melt in his skull? Knowing how you were gonna be put up there, beat, slapped, kicked, mocked, stoned, chained, whipped, and then stabbed, and come on, man. But having the power to stop it, that's the kicker. He had the actual power to affect what he had to go through, and he didn't. All he did was, Yahweh, if it be thy will, let this cup pass.
Yeah.
And guess what? He had to drink that cup.
Yep.
Go ahead.
But in everything,
Right.
by prayer,
By what?
by prayer
Go ahead.
and supplication,
Right. You pray and you ask. Ask and you shall receive. Knock and it shall be open. It's simple things that we gloss over. Ask the Most High. He said it. I know what you need, but ask. Right? He said that your Father in heaven, what is that, Matthew 6? He said your Father in heaven know what you need. Where's it at? Right? Go ahead, read on.
but in everything by prayer and supplication.
Right.
With
Matthew 6:32, for after all these things do the Gentiles seek. For your heavenly Father knoweth that you have need of all these things. He knows what you need. But humble yourself. Ask. Right? It's like my son, man. He knows that I know that he's hungry. But he's like, what you eat? Like, are you hungry? Just ask me and I'll get you something. Don't sit there and ask me, like, try to ask me educated questions and spy out my liberty and see what I'm doing, all because you want some. Or he does this. He'll come to sit next to you and stare. I'm like, bro. I'm like, you hungry? He's like, yeah. I said, all you gotta do, bro, is just ask. And I'll make you some food. When have I not made you food? I know what you have need of. I know you woke up and you haven't ate since this amount of time. I know you. But you got to show that humility. Go ahead.
And supplication.
And what?
And supplication.
Read on.
With thanksgiving.
With what?
With thanksgiving.
So when you don't get, or when you do get, you got to be thankful. Because a lot of the times the things we don't get, we don't need. They're not good for you. When you stress out, man, I didn't get the building. Man, I didn't get this. Man, I didn't get that. Man, they got that. But that's not meant for you. Be thankful for what you do have. Go ahead.
And supplication with thanksgiving.
Right.
Let your requests be made known unto God.
You see, you got to make a request to the Most High. I got to put in a request. Now, everything we request, when you go to the DJ, like, hey, DJ, I got a request. Yeah, I'll get to that. That's what the DJ say, right?
God.
You don't get every song played in the club you want. I never did. But if the Most High don't give us every single request at the time that we want it, when we want it, it don't work like that. Yeah. You just let the request be known. You have faith. You pray. Humble yourself. And if the Most High sees that that's something that you need, He'll give it or He'll take it.
God.
Go ahead. From there, where we going? Go to Psalms. Psalms
55 and 22.
Go to Psalms 22-24. Just to push that point of the asking the Most High and He'll give it, and that He's not deaf to our supplication. Psalms, what did I say?
22-24.
Yep, read that.
Psalms chapter 22 verse 24. For He had not despised,
right,
nor abhorred the affliction of the afflicted.
Yeah, He's not abhorring your affliction. Like, oh yeah, you going through that, whatever, go through that. He's not abhorring our afflictions, man. He's the one that brought us to the afflictions. He's the one that brought us through the distressful times, not to be stressed, but to see how much are we going to lean on Him.
God.
How much are we going to call on Yahweh Shai? How much are we going to say, Yahweh, send the angels to protect us? How much are we going to, rely on wisdom and let that be the stability, or are we going to continue in our own mind? Go ahead.
Neither had He hid His face from him.
Right.
But when he cried unto him.
But when he what?
But when he cried unto him.
Read.
He heard.
Right. When he was humble, when we humble ourselves, the Most High hears it, man.
God.
Go to Psalms 55:22. Psalm 55:22. We got a few more.
Psalms chapter 55 verse 22.
Right.
Cast thy burden upon the Lord.
Do what?
Cast thy burden upon the Lord.
First and foremost, cast your burden on the Most High.
Okay.
Bear ye one another's burdens. So what does that mean? If I got to bear a man's burden, that means I got to be asking questions. Hey, bro, how you doing? But then the person that's being asked got to be willing to say, well, you know what? Let me humble myself to the next man and say, well, this is what I'm dealing with. So we got to be humble to one another.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And he shall sustain thee.
Right, because the Most High is not going to ascend off the clouds out of the heavens and give you sustenance. He's going to send a brother or a sister to do that.
Come.
Hey, in the form of, hey, shalom, Mark, how you feeling?
Got it.
Shalom, sis, how you been? That's where it starts. The humility got to be on the other side to say, you know what? Let me stop being deceptive. Let me stop trying to hide. Let me try to stop acting like ain't nothing going on. And let me just say, hey, to the right counselor, this is what's going on.
Done.
Go ahead.
He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved.
He shall what?
Never suffer the righteous to be moved.
Go to Ecclesiastes 13:2. Ecclesiastes 13:2. So you see, the righteous won't be moved and stress. That you won't move in stress and being frantic. They try to say like control chaos and all. They try to put these different terms on it. Chaos is chaos, man. Chaotic situations. The Most High is not the author of confusion. Right? Read that.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 13 verse 2.
Right?
Burden not thyself above thy power while thou livest.
I mean, it says it, right?
God.
It says, burden not thyself above thy power. Meaning, don't think too much.
God.
Don't think too hard. Don't think, give things thought, yes. I gotta keep saying that because I don't want it to think like, no one to think like, I'm just saying, man, just be oblivious and be naive. But he said above thy power. Don't think too hard. Some things have to go to the next pay grade. You know when the boss is like, oh, this is above your pay grade? Yeah, some things got to be moved over to the next man that has the thought above yours, or the next sister with the thoughts above yours to be able to help. Right. But we burden ourselves trying to overthink where our level of thinking only goes so high. It's not a knock on anybody. It's not a knock because a brother's thinking don't go as high as the next man. It's not a knock. He just ain't there yet. But the more he's able to relieve his burden on the next man and counsel and talk, that's what brings his level up. Go ahead.
And have no fellowship with one that is mightier and richer than thyself.
Right, go ahead.
For how agree the kettle and the earthen pot together?
Right, and that was the point I kind of wanted on that, was the burdening yourself above your needs. Go to Psalms. No, go to, where did we just end off at?
Ecclesiastes 13:2.
Right. Go to Psalms 119 and 49. Somebody else get first. Maccabees 2:53. We'll end it there.
Psalms chapter 119, verse 49.
Right.
Remember the word unto thy servant.
Right.
Upon which thou hast caused me to hope.
And that's the thing. The Most High said that we are supposed to hope, but hope for the good. Right? He said hope for the good. Go ahead.
This is my comfort in my affliction.
The comforts in your stress, man, is a good hope. He said it's good that a man both hope and wait for the salvation of the Most High. Right?
God.
Joy, peace, hope, fruits of the Spirit. Go ahead.
For thy word hath quickened me.
Thy word did what?
Quicken me.
Because that's the word. That's the job of the word. Is to quicken you out of the stress and quicken you into the good hope. And to understanding that there has to be a balance even when you hope. We hope for good things, but when they don't come, we don't lose our minds.
God.
And when they do come, we don't get over joyful either. You got to ride that plane.
God.
One more, and I'm going to end it here. And I don't know, for some reason, this is my favorite scripture in the whole class. Go to 1 Maccabees 2:53. I don't know why I like this scripture a lot.
1 Maccabees chapter 2 verse 53.
And it's so very simple. Read.
Joseph, in the time of his distress,
Right?
kept the commandment.
Wait, he did what?
Kept the commandment.
No, he did some alternative motive routes and he made up his own thought process.
Kept the commandment.
And what happened with Joseph? Read on.
And was made Lord of Egypt.
That's a powerful scripture. It said in the time of his distress, he kept the commandment.
Yeah, that's actually dope.
In the time of the fight, he stuck to his training. He stuck to what he knew was going to work. and he was made Lord of Egypt. You got to think about how powerful that is. And all you have to do is, and I always say it, put yourself in Joseph's shoes. In the time of your distress, rely on your training, man. Rely on the simplicity that's in Christ, and you'll become Lord of all your problems. You'll become the Lord. You'll become the God. He said, ye are gods.
Right.
But you die like men. We die like men because we don't stick to the training. We're gods when we use the commandment and the training that was given to us. We die like men because we say, you know what? Instead of being the third degree black belt, I'm going to be the street brawler. I'm going to fight like this. Tuck my head down.
Doing the windmill?
I'm doing the windmill. I'm going to pray I hit something. And all somebody got to do is just throw an uppercut. Bloop, lift that chin. And you looking like Broner out there with Bambi legs. Right? You looking like all them boxers that didn't know how to put up a defense and didn't stick to their training. So read that one more time. We'll end it here.
Joseph, in the time of his distress,
I got something. Go ahead.
kept the commandment.
Read.
And was made Lord of Egypt.
So all you have to do is ask yourself, what do I want to be Lord over? What do I want to be the Lord over in my life? In righteousness. All right, so we'll end it there. Anybody have any questions on that?
Wow. This was good. Water.
Yeah. Remember, man, keep studying, keep applying, keep asking questions. I'm going to say this. We thank everybody for joining us on Facebook, on YouTube. We appreciate the love. Again, look out for the other channel that we got up there. We're going to be throwing up these cable shows and news shows, doing our part, putting in more work. The harvest is plenteous, but the laborers are few. We pray for more laborers. So with that, let's salute everybody online. Let's say shalom.
Shalom.
And we'll see y'all back live from Virginia mañana. Okay? We'll be live from Virginia tomorrow. All right? So we appreciate y'all. Shalom.
The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. Yeah. The Most High is my rock. I keep my Bible on cop. The Most High is my rock. No time for cupcake and the cutting. Hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling. The Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. You can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain. It's for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth. Are you fishing with the truth? Homie, where's your fruit? If the Most High is your rock, don't treat him like a side piece. Come in this truth plan and treat you like a side piece. Of mercy and wrath. So do you want to fly or do you keep the Bible on cop? The Most High is my rock.